Okay, how to cover your buckram hat in fabric. So I started out by cutting and preparing all of my pieces. Now that those are prepared, I can start to sew them together and put them on the hat themselves. So there's two ways that we can go about doing this. One of which involves a sewing machine if you have access to one. So I will walk you through steps in how to do that. I also will walk you through hand stitches in a later video. Okay, so if I were to put together some of my pieces on machine to save time, I'm going to want to pin those pieces together. So I started out with the side band piece, so the inner side band piece of the lining here, and the crown piece. And I started with the crown piece of the lining. I'm doing the lining fabric in this way to make it a little speedier and easier, and then I will show the rest of covering the exterior of the hat by hand. So here is those two pieces, and I've actually pinned them together. And what I did was I first sewed the end pieces of my side band together. So you can see that here. I put a stitch in, put them pretty together at 1/2 inch seam allowance back stitch. And then I lined up that seam at my center back. And you can see that mark here that I had already marked on my other piece. Remember, those markings for center front, center back, and the sides are really going to come in handy. So I lined that seam up there. Then I matched up my sides. So I also had marks on my side pieces. That's a little hard to see, but I had a little mark here for my side piece that I lined up with the side piece on the straight side band, and then this mark here. So you're basically dividing it into quarters, pinning that first, and then pinning in between. And because you're pinning a curve, right, this is a curve to something else that's straighter, you're going to have to gently stretch as you go. So if you pin a section and then gently stretch that section between your fingers, then the natural stretch of the fabric, or the bias, which is on this curved part of the fabric, and also because we cut our side band on the bias, helps you put things together. You want to very gently stretch or ease that into place without overstretching it. So I used quite a few pins to get this together, and now I'm going to sew it on the sewing machine at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. After I do that, then I'm going to connect the other side of the side band to my brim piece. And you can see my brim piece here. This will lay on the underside of the brim, thusly. And so you can see that once this goes together, that will go on the inner portion of the hat, and I'm actually then connecting this edge to this inner edge of the brim piece. And I'm going to do all these pieces by hand. So basically I will have 3 pieces connected by 2 seams by machine for the lining, just to make that part go quicker. I could theoretically do this all by hand. I will show you the exterior of the hat by hand in another video.